You know, I've started recording this video probably 5 times now, and when it comes to the 2025 Royal Rumble, I genuinely don't know where to start on this match. Just, the men's Rumble was just insane, and I'm not sure if it was good insane or bad insane. You see, when it came to the men's Royal Rumble, it felt a little bit, how do I put this? It felt a little bit just disappointing, but yet absolutely perfect, and I don't know how to explain that. There was disappointing parts, but it feels like despite that, everything they did was absolutely perfect. The first two contenders in this match were Penta and Ray, which makes sense. 3 was Chad Gable, so we got to see Chad Gable, Penta, and Ray in the ring at the same time. Now, there was a lot of speculation that the first two were actually going to be Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, but back to this unpredictability theme that they had going on, Trick Williams wasn't even in the match, and neither was any other NXT talent. No Obafemi, no Tony D'Angelo, and when it came to Carmelo Hayes, he was the first one eliminated, and people had him on their Iron Man bingo sheet. And don't worry, because my Iron Man bingo sheet was Braun Breaker. It was Penta. So, I didn't get it either. It's just insane. And it's honestly a really good thing, because I feel like for the better part of the past year, Triple H has been completely predictable. You knew what was going to happen. At WrestleMania 40, there was maybe like 2 matches or so that were not what the fans wanted. I feel like everything was what the fans wanted. Every pay-per-view since has been what the fans wanted, what the fans wanted, what the fans wanted. Now, I'm not saying this isn't what the fans wanted, but it's not what the fans were out there being like, oh yeah, yes, most definitely we're going to see the winner be CM Punk or something like that. Like, there was people who were picking CM Punk to win, Roman to win, Cena to win. However, there was a certain level of uncertainty when it came to this match, because we didn't truly know who was going to win, because there was also Seth in the match, there was Drew in the match, there was Jey Uso in the match, hell, there was Logan Paul, and if they wanted to, they could have Logan Paul win. I would have been shocked. But I was shocked anyway by the finish. One thing I was shocked by when it comes to unpredictability is the fact that there were nearly no returns for the men's Rumble. When I think of surprises, we saw Joe Hendry, the TNA champion, but was there any other TNA talent at all? Period? No. A lot of people were speculating Matt Cardona, Dolph Ziggler. We were speculating a ton on who was going to be there. I was even thinking, man, who knows? The Hardy Boys. Now, I didn't have them on my sheet or whatever, but they were in the picture. And when it comes down to it, we had people like Aleister Black in the picture. Some people were even saying that Brock Lesnar was coming back. I didn't believe them, but there were so many returns listed that could possibly happen. Like Randy Orton. Randy Orton wasn't even at the PLE. He wasn't in the Rumble. He didn't interfere with Cody versus Kevin Owens. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing, because this was completely unpredictable. It just felt weird for a Royal Rumble. And Triple H is like this, because last year, it may have been last year that Booker T was in the Rumble, or was it the year before? Either way, lately he hasn't been one to pull events and have 8 to 9 returns and legends to make it feel more special. It felt really special, even with all this talent. Like, it felt great. And the in-ring work, I would go to say, was completely perfect. Like, I don't think there's anything I can really be upset with when it comes to the in-ring capabilities of this match. In-ring, it was everything that you want from a Rumble. I don't know if it was definitely more than what you would have expected, though. Like, I feel like this is what you expect out of a Rumble when it comes to in-ring prowess between all of the talent that they had. This was completely expected. I don't know if in ring wise it went above and beyond. However, it was still fantastic. Some of the biggest surprises for me was seeing Roman and Seth get eliminated by CM Punk. Then there I'm like, oh, okay. So they just got eliminated. So clearly CM Punk is winning. No, Logan Paul eliminates CM Punk, making our final 3 Logan Paul, John Cena, and Jey Uso. So I was like, oh, clearly John Cena's gonna win. Let's just move to them. We don't even get to go to that first, because Seth Rollins curb stomps Roman not once, but twice. So what does this mean? Since when is Seth Rollins like freaking out at Roman? Maybe I missed something, but he hasn't interacted with Roman in a long time. They're on two different brands. This makes me wonder if they're setting up a match at WrestleMania 41 for CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, which sounds insane. But what does this mean for Drew McIntyre? Remember, earlier in the match, Drew McIntyre got thrown out of the ring by Damian Priest. But there's rumors going on, or supposed confirmation, that Drew left the show before the match ended and was actually pissed off at that thing. Or that somebody in the match wasn't trying to get the match over and were trying to get themselves over. Which the usual suspects are like, okay, maybe Logan Paul. But Logan Paul hadn't even been in the match yet. Logan Paul came out at 30. This was around like 20s, I think, is when he got eliminated. So I have no idea who it was. It should come out in the next few days, but Drew was pissed. But this makes me wonder if Drew McIntyre doesn't have anything for Mania, because I was under the impression that we were getting Drew versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and a triple threat match. And if not that, CM Punk and Seth, and then Drew and Roman. But if this is the case, we could get Drew versus Jimmy Uso, but that feels completely lackluster. And not to, like, hate on Jimmy Uso, but when it comes to how they're booking him right now, he is not on the same level as Drew McIntyre. So, I just wouldn't believe it that Jimmy Uso was going to win. And if he did, that would be completely insane. But I don't see that match happening. Makes me wonder if we're actually going to be getting Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus Roman Reigns in a fatal four-way match. Are we? Probably not. If we do, I will be completely ecstatic. That sounds perfect. Not gonna lie. If that were to happen, that would be like best case scenario. And just the in-ring capabilities of that match would be absolutely perfect. So, beyond this match, some other entries that I thought were pretty notable. LA Knight was in there. AJ Styles came back from a kayfabe injury. Supposedly he was injured the night before on SmackDown. That was kayfabe to get him there. Braun Strowman returned. Absolutely horrible. Waste of space. I'm sorry. But Braun Strowman was supposed to be injured from Jacob Fatu doing his little Bronson Reed impression with the prettiest moonsault ever, as you know, over and over, to Braun Strowman at Saturday night's main event. So why is he back a week later? I thought that was supposed to write him off. It makes no sense. So I guess we're not getting Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. That's fine. My best case scenario, which is literally dream booking because I don't know if he can return by WrestleMania, is Bronson Reed versus Jacob Fatu. But I was under the impression that we were stretching Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman to WrestleMania, and the reason that he was getting injured was to write him off so it doesn't just stretch on for 2.5 months. But clearly, I was wrong. Or that's just not the match we're getting at Mania. Some other notable entries, like I said, Joe Hendry gets eliminated by Roman Reigns. When Roman Reigns comes in at number 16, he eliminates everybody. And this is where the men's and the women's match was completely different. The women's match, you're at number 16, and there's like 12 or 13 people in the ring. It was getting crowded. I think at one point there was 14 in the ring. Roman Reigns comes in, there's already been eliminations, and then he eliminates everyone, so there's only 3 left. Him, I think Jey Uso, and maybe Penta was there. No, Jacob Fatu. No, Jey Uso wasn't there yet. I think it was Penta, and no, did he eliminate Penta? You guys gotta help me in the comments. I just know that he eliminated everyone until there was 3 left, and Jacob Fatu was one that stuck around. Did Jacob Fatu have the most eliminations? Because I'm pretty sure he did. Yes, Jacob Fatu tied with Roman Reigns. Each had 4 eliminations, so they have the most eliminations. The man who spent the most amount of time, as I said before, I'm pretty sure, Penta was the Iron Man, spending 46 minutes in the match. But let's get the elephant out of the room, because we can talk all we want about how, oh my god, Otis was in the match, or how about Akira Tozawa getting attacked and Speed getting in and getting possibly for real injured by a spear from Braun Breaker and thrown onto the commentator's table by Otis, or we can talk about Andrade being there as a waste of space. Sorry, Charlotte Flair. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. The final three in the match were Logan Paul, John Cena, and Jey Uso. And at that point, I had it locked in. John Cena's going to WrestleMania, and he's taking on either Gunther or Cody Rhodes. And I don't care which one it is, because it's going to be amazing. Preferably Cody Rhodes, but then again, not, because I'm afraid that they would make Cody win, because that's the type of person that John Cena is, to put over Cody Rhodes. But we clearly did not get that. If you watch the show, we did not get that, and you know it. Logan Paul gets eliminated by John Cena after a little bit of back and forth with a clothesline over the top of the rope, leaving John Cena and Jey Uso. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, that's a good stat for Jey Uso. He's going to be the runner-up. That's pretty good. Not what I expected. I expected John Cena to be the runner-up against Roman, but you know what? That's okay. What went down was the most surprising thing I have seen in years, and I've been watching WWE for over 10 years now, and I have not seen such an upset, but yet reverse upset, because we all love Jey Uso regardless. They do their little trading blows. John Cena does his 5 moves of doom. We get all that. Suddenly, they're on the outside of the ring, on the apron, after going over the rope. They're hitting each other. John Cena goes for the AA. Jey Uso sneaks behind him, pushes him off, and wins the Royal Rumble. Jey Uso, main event, Jey Uso is going to the main event of WrestleMania 41. Probably night 1. I doubt he picks Cody Rhodes. But this means that we're getting Gunther versus Jey Uso, or Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso. And in the end, I mean, I'm happy for Jey Uso, but this was the wrong decision. I will flat out say it. This was the wrong decision. I'm happy for Jey Uso. I'm excited to see where it goes, but if I were booking this, and I know the show isn't made for me, but if I were booking this, I would have booked Roman. But thinking about it more, that Fatal 4 match sounds amazing, so I may have booked Cena instead. I think we're going to get the same match regardless. I think that regardless, we're going to be getting Jey Uso and Gunther, and we're going to get John Cena and Cody, because John Cena announced in the press show that he's going to the Elimination Chamber and is going to win in Toronto, Canada. All in all, this match was the most unpredictable Royal Rumble I have ever watched in my life, and was definitely one of, if not the greatest I've seen. And I'll tell you what wasn't the greatest. The Saudi Arabia one in 2018. But I will say, there were some disappointing spots. We didn't get a whole lot of returns. And it felt like they made returns not really returns, because they couldn't get people like AJ Styles and Braun Strowman, because they couldn't get probably Matt Cardona. They couldn't get Dolph Ziggler. But why couldn't they just bring up Obafemi? Or Tony D'Angelo, or the obvious pick that everybody had, Trick Williams. Regardless, I'm still happy with the Rumble. I'm happy with who won. I'm willing to give it a chance and see where this goes, but I don't want to see the same thing that we saw every other time that Jey Uso took on Gunther. I want this to feel special. And if not, give me Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes. In the end, I hope this turns out well, and I'm glad to see where it goes. Calling it now, John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber, and a mini prediction, Sami Zayn turns on Cody, and that could end up being a triple threat match. Probably not, though. I'll see you in the next one. Don't rage at the Ring Rager.